Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Jordan Orell, and my hair was sticking up. So, I would like to say something today. Important. It's important. Love, man. Love. Love, woman, if that's your preference, or non-gendered, whatever. I'm sorry, I got distracted there. It's I feel like that's a different subject than I was gonna start talking about, and I kind of got distracted by it. Love. Love is the answer, and you know that for sure. That was John Lennon, I think, the Beatles. It's one of those things with the Beatles. You know, love. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. They said that too. There ain't no doubt in no one's mind that love is the finest thing around. That was James Taylor. You know, a lot of these singers from the 60s and 70s who sang with each other, including the Beatles and James Taylor, who happened to be around at the same time writing that music. This video is terrible. This is a really bad video. So far, so far, I can't imagine too many people are gonna think this is good and keep watching it, but I'm gonna keep talking because I feel like it. And you know, when I start a video over, like every time I kind of I don't necessarily lose the momentum, but I get really good at the first minute of the video because I keep on redoing it over and over and over. And then when I get to 5 minutes or 10 minutes in, then I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. So I like to just do the video all the way through, even if I'm going to redo it. I still like to finish it. Although at this point, I feel like I've just kind of I don't know, man. I don't know, woman, whatever you are. Dogs, cats, anything, really. Transgender. I love you no matter who you are. And that's the point of this video. Love. Because what is intactivism? What is it? It's loving our children, isn't it? It's treating our children with love. I mean, it's that simple, really. You know, it's not a loving act to tie a child down and rip its genitals to shreds. I mean, it seems obvious, but you know, we have these euphemisms and these traditions and other reasons that it's kind of finagled its way in, as Marilyn Milos would say. And so this movement is about asking ourselves, what is love really? What is it? And that's an important question, and it doesn't just apply to genital mutilation, because we have the high ground. We are literally as ethically right as it is humanly possible to be. You can't be any more ethically right. We have as high of a ground as you can possibly have. It's literally impossible to be any higher, and that's a great advantage because, you know, the most vulnerable people in society are children. Treating them with love is the highest ethical responsibility. Love is the best thing there is, and we're giving it to the most vulnerable, most important people in the universe because they have the greatest potential to become great, and you have the highest leverage within the first year or two of their life is what has the most massive impact on their personality is how you treat them when they're very, very young. And then it becomes harder to impact them until in adulthood it's very hard to change someone. But in early infancy, you can have a massive, massive, massive effect on someone's personality by how you treat them. And you know, there's a lot more that could be said about this. Intactivists are all for treating with our children with love in all ways. You know, I don't know any intactivist who's against bad parenting. I believe every intactivist would be against, or I don't know if virtually every, the vast majority would be against corporal punishment. A lot are vegan, a lot are against all different kinds of cruelty, and all for social justice, all for autonomy. It's all a very highly idealistic way of approaching, positive toward sexuality, positive toward pleasure, positive toward relationships and connections, all of these things are elements of love, essentially. I think that's the most fundamental thing, because love is when you see another being as worthwhile and as worth treating with kindness and respect and warmth. And that's what love is. Love is, or even, I like the definition, love is seeing it as your very self. You see it as not separate from yourself, but as some, almost an external part of you. Love is recognition of yourself in another, which could just be recognizing that you and this thing are both consciousness, essentially. We are all consciousness. At the core, that's what we are. We are the awareness that is aware of being alive. And then there's these little things in our personality that kind of obscure that or kind of shape that. But we are essentially all the same consciousness. That's what we are, and love is the recognition of that. And the wish that everyone experience happiness. And the best way to do that is to treat children with love as much as possible, because that's the highest leverage point. These are the people who are most vulnerable to being taken advantage of, because they have no voice for themselves. They have no way to protect themselves. And, frankly, they're usually brainwashed into a society which tells them that it's good that they were mistreated and brainwashed. And so they grow up and assume that, oh, it's good that I was created into this whatever they've become, because they don't know anything else. And so, the amount of impact you can have on a child is incredible. And it's important to understand that. So giving love to our children is what Intactivists are here for. We are here to be loving toward all beings on the planet, I believe, but especially children who are most in the need of it, and it does such a profound good to the entire future of the planet to treat these children with love. It deeply impacts their personality, and that's based on psychological research and anthropology and different things. I'm not just pulling that out of a hat or something. There's a lot of research studies that back this up. It's well accepted that the younger someone is, the more profound an event will have on their personality and on who they become. So that's what we're all about, not doing the worst thing you can do to a human being at the earliest possible time in their life, mutilating their genitals, their love organ, the part of them that's capable of experiencing the most pleasure, and ripping that to shreds. We are genital autonomy advocates who are against the circumcision or genital mutilation of male, female, and intersex equally. It doesn't matter who you are. You shouldn't have your genitals ripped apart for no reason and massively destroyed, because it kills you. It kills a part of you, really deeply, and who you become. But it also, when you learn about it as an adult and kind of confront, especially if you've had a botched circumcision or anything like that, but even if it was just a normal circumcision, it really can fuck your head up so hard and cause you such extreme PTSD that you kill yourself, and this happens quite a lot. And that's just how bad it is. That's how bad the trauma is and the depression. And so we need to not do this. We need to not do this to our children anymore, and treat them with love and give them the respect they deserve. And that's what Intactivism is all about. It's about love and affirming that's what we are, and that's how we should act toward our children. We should assume that stance in all parts of our life insofar as we can, because it is the high ground, because we are in the right. And as soon as we become very rageful and kind of lose our tempers, or certainly if we ever attacked with violence or sought to destroy the opponents of circumcision, the proponents, and if we kind of lower ourselves down to this level and this way of thinking of, oh, we have to assume hatred, a stance of hatred, because they've acted in a hateful way toward us and to our bodies, and they continue to act hatefully toward us, and therefore we have to fight fire with fire and attack them and be angry, and it's fine to be angry and it's fine to have all these feelings, and that's what healing work is. It's confronting these feelings and experiencing them and giving voice to them and letting them move through you and letting yourself embody them and release them when they're not helping you, because they're not most of the time. Remaining in rage and hatred, it brings you down to you're never going to beat people who are strongly pro-circumcision at being hateful or rageful or cruel. You just can't. If you're a person who has love and wants to be loved and believes in love, then there's no way that you can hold these contradictory values and really unite a movement in hatred. It just doesn't. I don't think it works. We need to embody love. Embody love for ourselves first and take care of ourselves, do our healing work, do whatever you need to do to feel better, and then to develop yourself in positive ways. We need to develop the Intactivist movement more, meaning the Intactivist community, and continue being loving to each other. We are sometimes, and sometimes there's a lot of infighting that goes on between Intactivists and anger about things that aren't worth being angry about. We all agree that genital mutilation is bad, and political infighting really just takes away from protecting children. We're literally throwing away an opportunity to do the best thing in the world, to fight each other over little inconsequential battles of our egos because we have some disagreement. It's great to disagree, and it's great to disagree about approaches or strategies, but when it becomes schismatic and about personalities rather than objective strategies or facts, it becomes really destructive when it's just sort of motivated by trauma and anger and blind rage, I like to call it. We need to learn to work together and really be a community that's strong and cohesive and has debates with each other, to really figure out what's the best way forward, but always maintains the understanding that we're all here to end the genital mutilation of children, and we need to let that unite us and that bond strengthen us rather than being torn apart. So we need to love each other, we need to love ourselves, and ultimately we need to love children and love the world in a sense, meaning see the world as it is and understand it and really look to how we can build things in the world and alter the world and help our children and see them all as part of one system. Everything is part of one system, and love is essentially, being open to that system and really being able to interact with it with great care and intelligence. It's intelligent love in a sense. So, and action-based. But I believe the basis of all of it really is truly love, and being open and being willing to not ever pit yourself against something, but to see that sometimes there will be disagreements, and sometimes there has to be a deeper conversation, or there has to be civil disobedience even, or ways of combating the true evil in the world. Non-cooperation with it, like Gandhi's Satyagraha, is really powerful, or Thoreau's just civil disobedience. And yeah, ultimately it's all based in love. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. And if you can live that, I believe that the moral high ground will carry us to victory. So I'm building an organization around all of these principles, and it will be coming out very soon. I'm excited to share it with y'all when it comes out. And we will end genital cutting in the United States by 2022 in all developed nations. Non-consensual genital cutting, did I say that? And all non-consensual genital cutting in the United States by the end of 2022 in all developed nations by 2025, and in the world by 2030 is the goal. So more on that soon, and thanks for watching. Talk to you